In the past week, I've sold 3 AI agents, which totals 23.5K worth of sales for me. And I'm going to go through exactly what they are, how you can potentially sell them to other businesses or use them in your own. So let's get started. The first one is a Trainerize agent. And basically, it performs a couple of different functions, but it is going to basically set up a chatbot inside Trainerize. I can't go into too much of the technicalities on this because an NDA has been signed for between me and the company, but it's the first agent and it was about 15K. 15K? Yeah, 15K off the top of the head. So the first thing that it does, it onboards users to Trainerize and it then puts them in a chatbot that will answer their questions. So the first step is we're getting a webhook from Go High Level. This client uses Go High Level to fill out forms, etc. What it then does is it calculates the macros of the client and then creates a Trainerize user, sets their nutrition goals, which is calculated here. So we have the code to create that here. And then it will set those nutrition goals, sets the default program and sets the challenge for the client. So you can see here, calculates macros on a 40-30-30 split, creates a user in Trainerize, sets nutrition with MyFitnessPal integration as well. The agent part of this is this here. So basically what it does, whenever a message comes through in Trainerize to the specific user that this person has been assigned to, responds to that webhook and basically gets the information and puts it into this agent here. So any message that comes through gets responded to if it's fitness related. If it's not fitness related, it replies with basically, this isn't a fitness coaching message. And it says, sorry, I don't think that's relevant to fitness. Now I've put in like a generic prompt in here because the actual prompt is specific and tailored to the business. And the reason why I was able to sell this for 15K is because of how big this project is. So as you can tell, it's a really simple agent. And often what I've found, the most simple agents are the ones that are like significantly more scalable for a business. If I was to give a business this agent, for example, which I'll go through in a second, it's so much harder for them to scale this. However, if there is like 2 processes that can be scaled to, 150 locations for a gym, for example, this is so much easier for them to get up and running and use it again and again. Hence the higher price tag. So I'm also got my little whip here. I was working on some additional things to build an AI agent for check-ins on that as well. So this is really cool. I've built this for multiple companies, this like Trainerize chatbot. A lot of people don't know that you can actually do Trainerize chatbots. You just need to be able to have the client on the studio plan of Trainerize so you can go higher and use their integration. But really cool agent, and again, 15K, which is really wild. The next one is actually an agent that I'm crediting, Creator Accelerator. I was a part of his school group. Realistically, I'm a businessman, right? So if I find a really good template that's being sold, I'm going to on-sell that to my clients. I'm not going to give you this template. He talks about it in his school group. You can get it from there. I'll give you this template though, and this one, but I won't give you this one. It's not mine to sell, but I sold it to a client for 6K. So basically what it does is it gives highly relevant content ideas for Instagram, and it helps you generate those content ideas by your #1 competitors, and also like gives you tailored content ideas based on those competitors, like outlier videos. So the way that it works is like you set up your competitors. So if I click on this, it might work. I just dump these all into one flow. Yeah, it won't work. But it asks you these questions of like, who is your competitor? Blah, 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 blah. It then goes through and gets that profile data, their profile data using a rapid API, and then it scrapes it from this Instagram scraper. So it's really simple to use, to be fair. It cleans up that data and puts it into a Google Sheet. And then every Sunday, when the client wants it to run, so every Sunday for this client, you can do it every Monday if you really wanted to. It gets the client's Instagram username. It then clears out the previous reels because it's not relevant. It gets the client's reels that did really well. It sorts them by views. So essentially you only get the top 10. So this is only really valuable if the client is doing like multiple Instagram reels every week. It downloads those files, it transcribes the reels, and it looks at which hooks were the best, and then sends it into the niche outliers. So gets the niche outliers from their competitors, and then essentially compares that against the two, and then outputs that information into a Slack message. So this workflow, again, not mine to sell, it's good. It does have its pitfalls a little bit. What I've found that, like specific to my client, it's kind of like analyzing the same content for the last couple of weeks because he hasn't been super active on Instagram. But this is super valuable for him because he just wants to be able to show up and make content consistently. That's why I was able to charge this. I have a pre-existing relationship with this client, so the sell was just it made sense. So really happy with how it turned out though. He's happy to get the Slack messages every week and potentially even more frequently. We're going to set up a separate system to get more information, but it's all built based off this. So I tweaked it a little bit. It's not exactly this, but it's built off that. Cool. And the third agent is company knowledge base. So this is just a quick, I'll basically explain how this works, and then I'll explain why it's super valuable. So what it is an internal company knowledge base. Basically what happens is, I think I did my math wrong. I think this one's 2.5K. Yeah, not 6K. That would have been way too much. 2.5K. It is an internal company database. And what it does is it gets the information from a client message. It then searches their company Google Doc, prepares the prompt, sends it to the agent, searches the information that's been provided, and then returns that information to the user. Now, the reason why I charge 2.5K for this is because I didn't have to set up the company's knowledge base. If I did, I would have charged more. But it's a really simple bot. But let me walk through the use case. This client of mine has quite a big team. We're talking like 10 to 15 people. And he found that he was spending a lot of time answering the same question over and over again. And he had this knowledge base available to his clients, but sorry, not his clients, his team, but he was still answering the same question. So he said to me, Matt, is there a way that I can have them send a message to a platform, whether it be Slack, Telegram, WhatsApp, even for example? Is there a way I can do that? And then it can reply to them like a HR bot or something like that. And I said, yeah, we can do that. So basically I found this template on N8N's website. It was super simple. I connected the company's knowledge base, and we built this agent into two places, into Slack and into Telegram. So this is a little bit different to what I was showing, but basically the information comes in when the client asks a question. It then filters through the knowledge base, prepares the prompt, returns the information, and pushes it through back to the user. So this is just the base template, but you can use this. You can set this up with a little bit of tweaking, and it is really efficient to be able to have someone else answer those questions in the native application that this client is using for their business, right? So what I found, and what the client of mine found, is that if we just have these company knowledge base SOPs, they don't really get used, and it's hard to search through them. So it's all about making it easier for people to come through. So again, this agent, really big client, so enterprise level client, and that's why I was able to charge that much. This one here, again, close to enterprise level client, and this one here, not enterprise, but still doing over 7 figures a year. That's why it was super, like the price points are high. Now, something I just want to talk about really quickly, and if you're a coach, then this isn't really for you, but if you're looking to sell these agents to businesses, this is my word of advice. Go for the clients that have bigger budgets, because I could sell this coaching agent to a coach who's got, 20 clients, but I might only be able to sell it for $2,000. But because this client is a big client and it has literally hundreds of locations, I can sell it for more. This one here, same thing. If this client was doing maybe $10,000 a month, I wouldn't have been able to charge $6,000 for that, because that's 60% of their income. Go for the clients who are making more money, and you can find them just by, one, networking really well, and two, just looking at the delta. Look for people who have a lot of testimonials. Look for people who have a lot of clients. And obviously, in the beginning, it's going to be hard for you to find those people, but in time, they will come. So this is the 3 agents I've sold this week, about 23.5K. And if you want the template to this one, I'll share it in my school group. If you want the template to this one, I'll share it in my school group. Unfortunately, not going to be sharing this one here. But if you wanted to join Creator Accelerator, you can do that too. All right, have a good day. Bye.